These visuals now coming in as the SCO summit has formally begun. Remember, earlier was the bilateral on the sidelines. However, now, as you can see, it is the red carpet there for all the leaders who have arrived for the SCO summit, and there was a reception as well where all of them were greeted. There will be a gala dinner event also. So there will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there will be Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping at the leaders' dinner, which is going to be taking place. And this meeting will be very closely watched, of course, by the Western world, by the United States. There has been no comment yet from Donald Trump, but the SCO summit in Tianjin, where the Prime Minister has visited China after a gap of 7 years. There was that formal handshake between the two leaders, but also a lot of speculation over what this meeting will now bring for India and China, and in terms of normalizing relationships, though there is always, remember, a lot of wariness when it comes to relations with China. So there you can see that photo op taking place currently at the SCO summit as it will formally begin. Before that, we have seen today the focus has been on the bilateral meeting between Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Well, let's go across to NDTV's Gauri Dwivedi, who joins us from Tianjin there. And Gauri, we can see that photo of all the leaders there lined up. Earlier, they were all greeted formally as the SCO will now, begin. There is the gala dinner, which is going to see, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, all there.
Indeed, that's your SCO family photo that's right there on our screens. First coming on NDTV, what we are putting out, that's the SCO family photograph, the official one that's come out right now, Gargi. And interestingly, you have world leaders there in a huddle that is likely to decide which way the larger messaging goes as far as the global south is concerned. You have President Putin there, you have President Xi Jinping, Prime Minister Modi there, right, and several other leaders. Let's also remember that this is the largest grouping of leaders as far as SCO summit is concerned. This is the most expansive format of the SCO so far. You have the permanent members, then in addition, there are dialogue partners, there are those who are special invitees. This is the largest grouping where you now have this year, where you have 20 world leaders congregating. So that's the official photo, the family photo of the SCO 2025 that we are putting out first on NDTV. Now, Gargi, this image itself is something that is going to be very significant because this is likely to elicit some sort of a response from Donald Trump. It comes in the wake of some very sharp and shrill rhetoric coming in from the Trump administration. It also comes in the backdrop of a very crucial bilateral meeting that has taken place between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping, where some very significant messaging has come out from both sides, which relates to how they feel they should now look at the relationship going forward, both from a trade point of view and the larger issue with regards to disengagement and continued progress, hopefully, with regard to contentious issues related to border. But on your screens right now is that first official visit, first official photograph, of the SCO family of 2025.
Right, and Gauri, as you said, very significant, especially, this grouping and what it means for the global south and the relevance given the fraught situation right now in geopolitics. And this will review 25 years of the organization's achievements. They'll also have a roadmap going into the future. If we take a look at, the larger SCO summit that is taking place.
Indeed, Gargi, this was a summit that started as the Shanghai Five. It started 25 years back, yes, by China and Russia. Security being the undercurrent that really tied these countries together. The other aspect of it is connectivity. Connectivity in Central Asia, which is a key objective for Russia and China. And that's the premise of the grouping. Over the years, it's become much bigger and expansive in its scope. And with more countries coming together, India joined formally and became a full-time member of the SCO in 2017. This also has some other countries, which includes Turkey and Azerbaijan and Pakistan as well. Those leaders are also there. So this is now a grouping that has become much bigger than Shanghai 5 when it started. Security is going to be significant, but over the years, trade has also become a very important aspect. As I said, connectivity, linkages for Central Asia, and upwards from Central Asia further ahead are important aspects of this summit of SCO itself. And that is likely to feature in the discussions and even possibly in the summit declaration that will come up at the official statement that will be adopted by all member nations at the end of the deliberations.
All right, and Gauri, let's also talk about, what has taken place so far, which is, of course, the bilateral meeting between Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi. This is the Prime Minister's first visit to China in 7 years. A lot of significant statements made. Of course, we're very, cautiously optimistic over, going forward, the relation between India and China. And lots of, very positive things have been said, and emphasis on both the countries and friendship and mutual trust and respect.
Indeed, some very important phrases and words in the statement need to be highlighted, Gargi. And three of those, which are very, very significant. One is that India and China are not rivals but partners. That's a new coinage that has come to light. And that's the Indian statement I'm talking. And that's indicative of how the two sides want to approach several of their common issues that they are facing with regard to economic warfare led by Donald Trump. And at the same time, also look at their contentious issues bilaterally. That's the first thing. The second thing is they've also talked about how their relations should not be viewed through a third party or a third country lens. And this needs to be read in greater detail. Now, on one end, you have the China-Pakistan nexus that India has all along called out.
Interrupt you there. We're just seeing
Operation Sindhu.
Right, we're just seeing some, visuals also, just to, tell our viewers, this is the, when the leaders earlier arrived, and all of them are being greeted by Xi Jinping and his wife. So they're one by one, all those 20 leaders that Gauri was talking about who are in Tianjin for the SCO summit, they're being greeted by Xi Jinping personally. And there you can see one by one, each of the leaders is arriving there. We also brought you that group photograph, which Gauri is describing as the first family photograph there on NDTV. So there you can see visuals coming in right now from Tianjin, China. There is going to be a gala dinner as well shortly after this, and you're going to have all these key leaders, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping and Narendra Modi are going to be together for that dinner. And tomorrow, of course, will be the big meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Vladimir Putin as well. Today, the bilateral with Xi Jinping. So yes, Gauri, sorry, returning to you for more on what the significance of the SCO summit, especially coming at this time, as it does at a fraught time when India and China are facing tariffs from President Donald Trump and this global trade war that he is undertaken. Also criticism from the West over our relations with Russia and import of crude oil, etc. So yes, at a time like this, the SCO summit gaining more significance.
Indeed, getting more significance, Gargi, and those visuals really do tell the story. You have the Chinese president and the first lady of China receiving all world leaders, and this is the first formal reception, so to say, of the world leaders being received by President Xi and the First Lady in China. We were talking about the larger messaging in terms of the India-China bilateral. And the one thing that we spoke about was the third nation reference that was made. And that's significant because India has called out the China-Pakistan nexus. We did so even during Operation Sindoor. Parallelly, China has been raising, and voicing how it feels that there should be with regard to Quad. It has said that in the past. So that is what they have been calling out in terms of how India is part of the Quad. Now, and that the interesting phrase that has come to light about the third country part, that I think is something that is going to be deliberated, discussed in greater detail, and would probably be one thing that will shape up the roadmap from here on between India and China. But one thing is for certain, the mention of BRICS, where India is the host country next year, an invitation to the Chinese president being extended, indicates that the two leaders want to pick up and continue the momentum in terms of discussions. How far will that go? How soon will those lead to significant breakthroughs? Is really the question that we wait for an answer from over a period of time.
Right, Gauri, and earlier we were talking about the US watching this closely, the West watching this closely, and what has taken place has been that article in the New York Times which talks about how President Donald Trump will not be coming for the Quad summit, and it's very curious because there's really been no talk of that Quad summit as such and when it's to take place. So just ahead of the SCO summit, this story being put out there by the New York Times.
This is optics, and one could even say this is Donald Trump jumping the gun, because unless there is a formal invitation that is being extended by the host country, how can anybody else talk about not coming? So this is India as the host country needs to extend that formal invitation. It hasn't done so, but with US jumping the gun and saying it's essentially optics and putting that out on a day when these developments are taking place here in China, in Tianjin. So it is meant to send out that message in terms of how Donald Trump and his administration is viewing these latest set of developments. Or one could say these are yet another, pressure tactics, so to say, being deployed by Donald Trump because he wants that trade deal. And yes, he wants that progress, both of which India has resisted, continues to do so, because it feels whatever decision has to be taken has to be on its merit and keeping India's national interests in mind. Having said that, Gargi, I feel even tonight, India time, and maybe tomorrow as well, you will see more reactions coming in from the Trump administration, because tomorrow, remember, is that all-important bilateral between President Putin and Prime Minister Modi. And my sense is Donald Trump is going to be furiously working on Truth Social, if nothing else, to come out with yet another set of expletives, because that's what he is reducing his presidency and his Trump administration today.
And President Xi.
That's right. So there you can see that formal reception is taking place as all the leaders who are participating in this SCO summit, 20 of them arrive for that gala dinner that is to take place, and Xi Jinping and the First Lady there greeting all of the leaders. We're waiting to see, Gauri, when the Prime Minister Modi will arrive. There's been so much scrutiny of the handshake and the body language and how it was, firm handshake, but there's not much exuberance. There was a sense of formality. Xi Jinping, always this inscrutable expression, not really smiling as such, though we have seen him in the past smiling when, he meets Putin. So all that has been really looked at. And again, coming back to that phrase I used earlier, this cautious optimism on India-China ties, and a lot being read into the formality of that handshake, and also how Xi Jinping was wearing black, Prime Minister Modi was wearing white.
Yes, indeed. And Gargi, whatever worded statements don't say in diplomacy, body language is supposed to communicate, right? So to that extent, a lot has been read and must be seen in terms of the body language as well between the two leaders. One, of course, goes back in time to the time when the two leaders...
Gauri, sorry to talk over you. The Prime Minister has arrived. And yes, another handshake. It does seem a more happy, picture this time rather than, the earlier formal sort of photograph we saw. And Xi Jinping does seem to be smiling there. So yes, there you just had it. The Prime Minister there formally welcomed to the SCO summit. Yes, Gauri.
Which may be...
Indeed, those were visuals of Prime Minister Modi being formally welcomed to the SCO summit. Seconds ago, President Xi and the First Lady welcoming Prime Minister Modi to SCO 2025 being held in Tianjin, where we are doing and coming this broadcast from. Gargi, we were speaking about body language. Even now, you saw that warm handshake between the two leaders. It's really done a lot of... There's a departure in terms of how this body language played out in the last couple of months itself. Last year, when the two leaders met at Kazan. Since then, there has been a major thaw in their relations, and now there is a warm handshake. Now, will that lead to warmer ties, warmer greetings? That remains to be seen. But yes, it's indicative of the fact that the two leaders are now speaking, communicating, and deliberating on issues that define the relationship of their countries. So to that extent, you're seeing those visuals on your screen, a warm greeting there, a warm handshake, and may I add, smiles as well. How should one read that is the key question. But in diplomacy, whatever worded statements leave out, reading of the body language fills in several of those gaps and several of those questions. So I leave it to the viewers as well to see how they read these warm greetings between the Prime Minister and President Xi.
Right, Gauri. Now we've also had a reaction from the Congress, over the meeting with Xi Jinping, and they've questioned. They're saying after my friend Donald, is it now my friend Xi Jinping? And also a question: have we got justice for Galwan, where we lost 20 soldiers? And has there has there been a reset of April, the status quo of April 2020 in place? And this is some of the questions that many analysts too have been pointing out.
And those questions remain, Gargi, because at no point of time in either of the two statements, whether you see the Indian readout or you see the Chinese readout, these questions still remain. And as far as those issues are concerned, they still are those that need to be worked out. And India has been very categorically saying that. Even the readout very clearly says that mutual trust and sensitivity needs to be maintained. And as far as border talks are concerned, they're still going to continue. And there is expectation that there could be some progress. Now, one needs to keep in mind that these are contentious issues that define the bilateral relationship. It's not trade that defines it. It's not people to people. It is these most contentious issues that actually define the bilateral relationship. And to that extent, there is a huge trust deficit that exists. Something that the Prime Minister made a reference to when he said there should be mutual trust. Now, that mutual trust needs to be the premise of being able to identify and find solutions to these issues.
Sorry again to interrupt you, Gauri. Now we can see Vladimir Putin there meeting with Xi Jinping, and some sort of interaction. Two aides or I don't know, officials have also arrived there so Xi Jinping taking longer there with his meeting with Vladimir Putin. So interesting to see that. Perhaps they're interpreters or something who have arrived there, and there seems to be a longer conversation there taking place. I think this is also as all the leaders line up for that photograph that NDTV showed you of all the leaders of the SCO all together. So yes, Xi Jinping meeting there. You can see the earlier welcoming of Prime Minister Modi, and then we saw the last leader to come out was Vladimir Putin, and that meeting and that interaction was much longer. And there you can see that photograph that we brought to you first of all the leaders lined up ahead of the gala dinner. And that's it. That's the program for today, isn't it, Gauri? After this, there is going to be just the dinner, and tomorrow is when the summit will get underway.
Absolutely. This is the kickstarting of the summit, the formal dinner, the formal welcome of all the leaders. This is the most expansive format of the SCO this year in 2025. All world leaders who are attending the summit being formally welcomed by the host, which is the Chinese president and the First Lady of China. There you can see those visuals of the huddle, the first huddle of all the leaders for SCO Summit. Now, what happens tomorrow is when there will be first the deliberations, the SCO of heads of state meeting that will take place. There will also be adoption of the formal statement, the declaration, the Tianjin Declaration, I beg your pardon, of SCO Summit 2025. And what references will that make to cross-border terror, to trade, to Donald Trump? All that will be very significant, and that messaging will be watched closely around the world. Will there be a solid and a strong message with regard to a concerted push by the global south? That could be another issue. So all that is likely to come up tomorrow after the heads of state meeting that takes place in the formal adoption of the statement of the SCO formal statement. And post that will be that all-important bilateral meeting that will take place between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. That will be extremely significant, comes in the backdrop of everything that Trump's bully-in-chief, Peter Navarro, could think of, has said and hit out at India. That is going to take place tomorrow as well. But first, all eyes on the SCO deliberations at the heads of state level and the adoption of the formal statement. What will that entail? Will there be reference to cross-border terrorism? Remember, Pakistan is also a full-time member of the SCO. India has called out Pahalgam. It wants that there should be a reference to cross-border terror in the strongest possible terms. This SCO also comes in the wake of India adopting a new normal where it says that any act of terror will be treated as an act of war. Now, that's the backdrop in which several of these deliberations will take place. That's going to be tomorrow after these visuals of bonhomie, these visuals of welcome and greeting that you are seeing on your screens right now, and the big huddle of the 20 world leaders at the SCO summit right here in Tianjin in China.